Welcome back, guys, to Football Dynasties. I'm your host, Dell. Week 4 is in the books. A couple of days away already from Week 5. I got the waiver wire report for you. Let's get it. All right, waiver wire is going to start getting difficult unless we start having any injuries going forward. It's going to be tough, but we'll get some guys that'll pop in and out. I've got 5 priorities for your waiver wire. And then I got a few honorable mentions just because they're coming off PUP, injury list, things like that. But let's get to the priorities first. Your number one priority is looking like it's going to be Kareem Hunt. He got the most carries out of the running backs. Carson Steele fumble. Kareem Hunt was inserted immediately. Most leagues already got him projected over 10 points. He's only rostered in about 25%, give or take, right around there between sleeper and ESPN leagues. So Kareem Hunt's going to be the number one target this week. At number 2 this week, we're going to have Wan'Dale Robinson. With Malik Neighbors, he's going to get majority of the targets for sure, obviously from what we've seen through 4 weeks. But that's just not sustainable for a rookie, I don't feel. And Wan'Dale, he looked really solid in that Cowboys game. He's a good second option for him. I know the Giants aren't very good, but for fantasy purposes, they're still putting up good points. Wan'Dale had another double-digit point performance again for the second week in a row. So I think that Wan'Dale is going to be another one of those guys you're going to want. He's only rostered in about 28 to 30%. So he'll definitely probably be available for you. At number 3, Romeo Doubs. So I was looking into it, and Romeo Doubs is actually only rostered in about 25 to 27% of leagues right now. With Christian Watson going down, he's going to definitely slide in that number 2. I think, especially with snap percentages, his are a little bit higher than Dontavian Wicks. Jaden Reed is clearly their number 1 receiver. Jordan Love came out. If he's going to throw 350 plus yards every week, he can definitely sustain a couple of guys. Obviously, it's not going to happen. They fell behind early, so they had to throw the ball a little bit more. But I still think Jordan Love, when he gets to be 100%, he'll be over 300 plus yards a game more than likely. But that's going to be, we're going to have to wait and see. But with Christian Watson going down, you're going to want to go get Romeo Doubs. My next waiver wire priority is going to be Justice Hill. He looked solid in that backup role. If the Ravens go down early, we saw it in Game 1 and Game 2, they tend to start putting Justice Hill in and they go in the gun. And he's definitely the better pass catcher between him and Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry starting off the game with an 87-yard run is definitely going to boost those numbers for him. But Justice Hill is a solid number 2. If you are in deep leagues, 10, 12-man leagues, Justice Hill for sure, go pick him up. His Derrick Henry injury means he's going to get pretty much everything, and that's going to be a good pickup to have. And my last priority for the week is going to be Tucker Kraft. So if you're in need of a tight end, as we all are, Tucker Kraft has now taken Luke Musgrave pretty much out of the equation. Kraft has been averaging 80% of the snaps in the last 2 games, and I kind of only see that going up. I know that Vikings game, especially after what I said earlier with Romeo Doubs, they fell behind early, so they definitely threw the ball a lot more. But the trend for Tucker Kraft has been that he is going up in snap percentage. So I feel very, very comfortable saying Tucker Kraft is definitely a tight end you want to have, especially, like we said, how bad the tight ends have been thus far this season. So get yourself Tucker Kraft if you need a tight end. And just some of the mentions I wanted to kind of touch on because they're coming off PUP, IRs. Nick Chubb, the practice window is open for him now. So if you weren't one of those managers that picked up Nick Chubb and put him in the IR, now's your chance to do so. Ricky Pearsall is going to come off the PUP as well. The 49ers wide receivers have definitely been 50-50 at best this season. Ayuk's not having the greatest of starts. Debo you can never trust. Juwan Jennings has a big game. George Kittle's been out. So I think Ricky Pearsall is going to fit into that slot position, and he'll get a good look early on. Another one of my guys that I was trying to mention was Tyler Algier. So I looked him up earlier today, and he is available in 38% of rosters. So if you need another backup running back and you have space, go get him. Darnell Mooney from the Falcons as well. His roster percentage is slightly higher. It's only at 62%. So there's an outside chance that you might be able to pick him up. And if you can, and you need a wide receiver, I don't see why not. Kirk Cousins has been looking his way a lot more the last couple of weeks, and he is clearly the number 2 receiver for this team. Kyle Pitts continues to struggle. According to his coach, stats are for losers, but in fantasy, all we live for is stats. And going a goose egg again, it's not good for anybody. It's not good for Kyle Pitts owners, obviously, but Darnell Mooney's an option. The last couple of guys were some quarterbacks. Justin Fields, believe it or not, he's available in 75% of leagues, which is a crazy number. I for sure, in our sleeper league, at least in my main league, we've got my boy Chad's got Justin Fields, and I tried to trade for him earlier, and he was saying, nope, I'm holding on, and it's paying off for him. Good for you, Chad. So Justin Fields, he is available in all the other leagues, though, so go grab him. One other one I wanted to mention, especially after Monday night's game, maybe Mason Rudolph. If you're in need of a quarterback because you play in deeper leagues, 10 to 12 leagues, and 10 to 12 man leagues, and I know most of these guys, some people like to carry 3 or 4 quarterbacks, so a lot of the starters get taken. But Mason Rudolph might be one of those guys that you want to look out for. Not a priority, obviously, but just someone to keep an eye on. Will Levis, it looked like Will Levis can go back in that game yesterday, but we all know how Callahan feels about Will. And he was looking for pretty much for any excuse to not put this kid back in. I saw a report earlier today saying after the bye week that, as long as he's healthy and all this, that he will be our starter. I don't believe that. I just don't believe it. Mason Rudolph immediately goes in. The Titans put up points. Will Levis leads the league in turnovers. So I don't see Will Levis being in there for very long. So Mason Rudolph, if you need someone just to stash as an emergency, he would be a good pickup. Guys, that was the waiver wire for week 5. We'll see you in a few days for our recap of week 4. And yeah, if you have anything else for me, put it in the comments. If there's any players you want me to look at, put it in there. Aside from that, like, follow, subscribe, guys, share. All feedback is welcome. And I will see you guys on Thursday for the recap.